Friday, dude. Welcome to another Friday.
It is Friday, that's right. Hot Boy, Shane, our cannibal friend, Mikey G here. And you know what we're doing today, boys?
What are we doing, Bri?
Look how we're dressed up.
You know why we're dressed up like this?
I'll tell you why, because a century ago, there was a luxury cruise liner just cascading the ocean.
The Poseidon?
No.
Oh.
The Titanic.
Who starred in Friday, the movie?
Ice
Cube?
Cube.
It was T, though.
No, it was Cube.
No, it was Cube.
Okay.
It was definitely Cube. Oh, and Chris Tucker.
Right.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Titanic 2.
Titanic 2.
You ever seen the first one? Don't worry, because they're nothing left.
James Cameron's back to direct Titanic 2.
And this time, the iceberg attacks.
Kate Winslet also is in this movie.
You know Jack. You know
Rose.
Rose, right?
You know them all.
How
All the big
about
ones. All the good
Hayden?
ones.
How about Amy?
How about there's no other side characters?
None.
No one.
Maybe Kelly?
Yeah,
She
but
gets
barely.
stuck and killed by a door.
Yo, okay.
Wait, didn't something
So
fall on her?
Did she
We're talking about
fall
this.
through the door or try to jump through that door?
I literally can't explain almost anything that happens in this movie. Cool thing is, Titanic won about 10 Academy Awards.
Yes.
Titanic 2 won about, 10 times as much heartburn than Titanic 1 for me. I almost cried watching this.
This movie has about a 1.5 on IMDb.
It's not in the bottom 150, is it?
I don't think it has enough votes. I think that's the only reason why. And I'll tell you what. This movie,
Tell me, Shane.
for an action movie, I think it's labeled,
Gotta
right?
be like action adventure. I mean, this sets up a wild
Is
exploration.
fucking boring.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Oh, my God, yeah.
the best CGI I've seen since Avatar.
Honestly, it's like, did Bob the Builder construct the Titanic 2? Because that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like it was constructed of little tyke building blocks.
They do say that the Titanic 2 looks exactly like the old Titanic, but it's not the outside. It's what's underneath that's better. So state-of-the-art engines, state-of-the-art grease.
I mean, that's what they're saying. But the truth is, it ain't broken in, dog.
It ain't. They've never even taken it to 50 knots. And I feel like I go 50 knots every Saturday.
You go 50 knots pretty quick, too. 0 to 50.
Yeah. Really? I'm like, vroom, vroom.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm just out here on my yacht.
You have a yacht?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm big money now.
That's right.
Do you not see the outfit I'm in? This literally cost
Shane,
me.
take a wide stance. Take the widest stance
You want me to
can.
take a wide stance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's get some of this real quick.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Look
Go.
at that. Oh my God, that is my.
Yeah.
That is all of it.
That was a setup. Me and
Friday.
Brad planned. That's
Anything is possible on this show.
Friday. Shane.
This movie stars, I don't know the actor's name, but his name in the movie, he goes by Hayden, the character. Mm-hmm. And this guy's big shit. This guy is like king of the luxury cruise liner world.
Can we play Would You Bang real quick?
Would I bang Hayden?
We'll play with Hayden, though.
I mean, this dude's banging every chick that ever existed.
He walks
right?
out of a copter with like 5 different girls.
So here's the thing about Hayden, and it's a very interesting choice for the Titanic too. This man is portrayed to be a complete douche for like the first half hour,
Right.
and then out of nowhere they're like, "Oh, did you know he's the main character and the hero?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
As
"Oh,
Mariah Carey once said, and then a hero comes along
did she say that?"
with the strength to carry on.
Now, here's my thing. Yeah, you bring up a good point about him being a douche. He never really exhibits douchery to me.
No, but they like.
You think they built his character to appear like a
Yeah,
douche?
they literally had this man with his fucking Tom Brady flowing in the wind hair come down on a helicopter with 17 attractive women, and his girlfriend is the ex-girlfriend is the first person you see, and she's like, yeah, we had to break up because some shit. And
Yeah.
they're just giving you that vibe. It's like, oh man,
Literally, do you
this
know-
guy's going to be the antagonist.
Is the reason they broke up because Oh no, I don't think it's the reason.
It was the dad. He like
because he took the
boat from the
fucking
dad.
boat out because her dad apparently is in the Coast Guard, which is really not a real thing. We all know that. Everybody knows that.
No, the Coast Guard doesn't exist. But her dad's also a weird Coast Guard person because like, does the Coast Guard actually patrol Antarctica?
No. So like this movie
Absolutely not. Nobody lives
basically
there.
sets the stage for what's going to happen when Bruce Davison, who apparently is in the Coast Guard, teams up with this scientist of some sort, and they explore and they find out that there's a glacier melting, and it almost kills a surfer in the beginning.
It almost does. Also, there's
that guy didn't die?
I don't think so. Maybe he
I
did.
thought
There's also a helicopter pilot named Snipes.
True.
Who's
that dude's a boss.
but he's not.
He's good at flying copters.
He dies because
you know about copter
it's so
launching?
funny.
I don't know shit about
There's
it.
a scene later where the copter's like going down because they ran out of gas, and they like wait until literally it's about to go down to jump out, and then like he can jump out too.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He goes down with the copter.
Oops.
Oh, there it is.
He goes down with the copter.
Yeah, it's just
Chopper.
get to the chopper.
Oh,
I'm gonna do all my accents from the final pod on here.
please God, no.
Now, apparently what's happening here is that, sure, the glacier hit. It did maybe kill the surfer. Done did. I don't know. But the problem is
My
that
assumption was that the surfer
they're
is
realizing
dead.
is that this is going to keep happening, but it's not going to affect anything already in the ocean because it's just going to affect anything on the shore. But the problem they realize is that it's going to go on a much greater scale, causing the glacier to hit the ocean, causing a tsunami
We're
effect.
dealing with tsunamis here.
They destroy and kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sure.
So here's the thing too.
What's the worst natural disaster? Is it a Sioux? Nami?
Jen burping. You heard that, Jen?
I was going to say. I was going to say any modern day Bruce Willis or Steven Seagal movie.
Oh, that's actually kind of fair.
Wow.
You know, just things like that. Maybe having to watch like Zack Snyder make a movie too.
Gay?
Holy fuck. Gay or not, Shane?
I'm
Who?
bringing that word back, by the way. I really think that we lost it as a culture.
Yeah.
I'm doing one more time. Ready for this? Gay?
Okay. I thought there was like a
No, just gay.
you just say okay.
Uh-huh.
Like Titanic 2 was pretty gay? Not hitting?
It's different.
Let's hit the iceberg.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. You think the boat is going to hit the iceberg. The iceberg kind of hits the boat in this one.
Well, the idea is like, yeah.
Because of the tidal wave, it kind of just throws the iceberg at the boat.
Some would say this is more dangerous than the circumstance that happened for the Titanic 1. Because the Titanic 1, the whole issue was like they didn't have enough lifeboats.
Yeah, thank God that wasn't a real story.
Which they prepared for in the Titanic 2. They have the lifeboats.
Plenty of lifeboats.
They actually don't. They have life submarines.
They say that they have enough lifeboats, but the problem is a lifeboat ain't gonna do shit to a tsunami.
This ain't 19. What year was the Titanic?
Yeah, it was like 1906.
What?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was like.
I was thinking more like 1908, maybe.
Maybe 19.
God, you're the worst.
Now I'm gonna say 1914. I base that on nothing.
All right. So regardless of the year, this year they now have life submarines because that's what they look like in the poor CGI. There is a scene. Now, this is a scene we got to discuss. Once the Coast Guard has called in that the tsunami's going to hit, throwing icebergs, blah, yeah. They like want to help everyone. So they send in a tactical submarine. Why does this submarine drive directly into the iceberg?
I have no idea.
See what that over my head.
Like, you don't even, you're like,
It just
no idea.
crushes into the iceberg.
because they're like, the captain's like, go deeper. And they're like, sir? And he's like, go deeper. And then he just says, brace for impact. But like, what the fuck?
You ever need to get through something?
He could have went around.
But sometimes you just need to go through.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I need to go through a carton of ice cream, so I do it.
That's right.
It's true.
Sometimes you need to go through a dozen donut box in a single sitting.
Sometimes you need to go through a dozen glaciers.
I guess so.
We're all people here, Shane. Stop judging.
I wasn't judging. I'm judging this movie because this movie is terrible.
You got a nice bruise on your knee, Shane.
Yeah, I got Christian.
A little hard play there.
You know basketball, how it'd be. Yeah, so let's get back to this train wreck of a movie. After the iceberg hits the Titanic II, which, first of all, who is going on a ship called the Titanic II?
Hey, damn.
Yeah, that's a fucking great point. So you know what happened to the Titanic one. You know what potentially might happen to the Titanic II just by having the name. You feel like it's cursed at that point.
Exactly, it's a curse. It's a cursed name.
It's
like getting on the Hindenburg 4.
Oh, God.
It's true. And there's a point in this movie where this lady broadcasts to the entire, it's like a ballroom. They're like having like catered food and everything there. She's like, everybody get below deck. It's not an emergency. Just get below deck. And right there, you know, I'm dead. Like, it's fucking over.
Why would they send everyone below deck where if they hit something, the boat sinks bottom first?
Well, it's hilarious because when the Coast Guard, who apparently this is like a heroic position when in real life we know, like, honestly, a mechanic would be better at saving lives. But
it's true.
Honestly, because they fix cars and Coast Guard. Obviously, apparently they're scientists in this movie. Get above deck.
Yeah.
Like, away from the bottom where if
It's
the ship
flooding.
starts going down and it starts flooding, it's going to capsize. You're going to have not so fun on the Titanic II.
No, none of them have fun. So here, this is why I'm going to say there's like no side characters. Besides Hayden and the main girl, Amy, there's Kelly, which we'll get to her death soon. But they try to build up like the captain and like the first mate for like a brief second. But once the iceberg hits, we don't see them again until the ship just blows up.
I love that scene because they don't even like build to that. It just blows. The middle of the ship just blows. And that kills the captain. It kills everybody in that command center area. And, you know, this whole movie is just like about like they're trying to outrun the tsunami that they get the report of. So Hayden, who's the big, like, hot shot of the whole cruise liner, apparently inherited it from his dad. He wants this thing to go without a hitch, and he wants to avoid the impending doom from the tsunami. So he's like, let's hit this thing to 50 knots. The captain's like, bad idea. All of our engines, they're not broken in yet. So what happens is they knock it up to 50 knots. One of the engine breaks. He goes, hey, we got 3 more. He goes, we're not doing that, the captain says. Thing is, these characters are not going to be important anymore. Well, Hayden will be. Captain will not, because the ship just kind of fucking blows.
So that's the thing too, because Hayden's the one who pushes them to do that, right?
Yeah, Hayden's the cause of everybody dying.
Yeah, so like, why is he then the hero? That's like if in the original Titanic, they made Billy Zane the hero.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like the other main character, it's this girl, Amy,
right?
Who had a relationship with Hayden, right?
Yeah.
And you could see that, like, Hayden's with all these girls, but he still, like, looks back at her, and they have that moment on the deck where they're, like, talking about what happened in the past. You get some stupid backstory about him commandeering her father's
her
ship.
dad, his dad, everyone's dad is involved.
A lot of dads.
It's like first class, third class, Jack and Rose bullshit.
But she's a nurse who doesn't really nurse anything. And, like, I just don't understand how, like, the story's going to come together. It kind of just doesn't feel right, ever.
No, it's fucking terrible. Like I said, the guy causes everyone to die, but he's the hero and a good guy, and I don't know. So eventually they get together, him and Amy, and she's like, I can't go to the top of the ship because I haven't heard from Kelly in a while, so we gotta go check on Kelly. There's also a running gag of a man trying to get on the elevator and constantly getting punched.
Literally hilarious. It's so hilarious when he like literally punches Hayden. Nobody does anything, and they just let the guy go. And then he later tries to get to the elevator. Some guy punches him.
Yeah,
like, I guess it's payback or something.
I guess, but like at that point, he was the only person left. So why wouldn't they just let him get on the elevator?
First of all, if some guy just punches me in the face twice, I'm not gonna just like let him walk away.
Right?
Like, who the fuck does that? Who just gets punched in the face twice and he's like, it's all right. I deserve this.
Well, he did because he caused it.
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't the scenario.
No,
the
it
guy,
wasn't, it wasn't.
Actually, no. Like, he was pissed. He's like, "You're killing us," and the guy just punches him twice, and then like that's it.
Yeah, it's dumb.
But in any case, this boat does start taking on water.
Yeah,
and eventually they do gotta try to figure out a way. You can't really use the lifeboats to get off the ship because the tsunami's still gonna kill you. So like Bruce Davidson in the chopper is trying to kind of like communicate with them in the ship on how to survive until they can get help.
but they all get onto the lifeboats anyway, except Hayden and Kelly and Amy.
Yeah, I mean, they like take an alternate route, the three of them, to try to like go through the ship, and I don't know where they're going.
Me either.
But like eventually,
Me
like
either.
midway through their trip, their father's like, "You need to get to the divers tanks,"
Yes.
and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then they start going that way.
What's a diver's tank?
It's where you fill up the room with water and then you can dive out of it, right? I think I think that's what it is. But anyway, they're eventually like getting to places where doors are stuck, and so they're trying to pry the door open with an axe. And that's when like Amy can't get through, so they're like trying to push her through, and she gets through. But that's what I was saying. Did Kelly fall trying to push her through, or try to dive through with Amy? And then the door crushes her, and Hayden uses her as a wedge to get through himself.
Correct. I think my favorite part, my favorite part of this movie is the nursing you first see from Amy.
Yeah.
In the fact that before Kelly gets killed, she actually like gets her windpipe cut of some sort, and she's like, "I know how to take care of this."
Oh, I forgot about this scene.
card.
I forgot about this scene.
Literally, they're in a room surrounded by gauze, disinfectant wipes, the works. She's like, "Credit card. Let's tip a credit card to her windpipe," and apparently it works.
Yeah, she's perfectly fine. Well, until she gets killed by the door, but otherwise she was perfectly fine. Wild. Then they get to what I like to call the monkey bars room, where there's an electric wire over some water.
This is fucking hilarious.
And they have to like climb over the pipes, and Hayden does it no problem because he's the hero. But Amy struggles, so he climbs back.
Literally impossible.
But what's impossible is she's falling, and all he does is push her arm back up. Like that would now give her the strength she didn't have.
Well, clearly, they filmed this while they're just standing on the ground. It was so obvious.
They made some like really corny joke too before they even attempted this.
Yeah, it's
A joke about like
brutal.
she's like explaining like what's happening, like they can potentially get electrocuted, and he goes, "You're a nurse." Like what?
What does that even mean? Anyway, they get to the diver's tank, right? And they realize there's like only one diver suit, which, I mean, why?
Yeah, why would there be equipped with one diver suit? I have no idea, but she puts it on. And then this scene is brutal. This scene is rough. Because they talk about like him trying to also survive even though she has the diver suit. He wants to give her the oxygen mask, and she's like, "We can share it." And he's like, "No, because then I'll freeze." And he's like, "But no, at least you'll have this so you won't drown." And he's like, "No, I'll freeze before I drown. And then, you know, if you take this or if I take the diver suit, then you're going to freeze, but I'll probably drown anyway." And there's just a lot of talking back and
Which
forth.
way are you guys choosing
Very
to go?
Jack and Rose, by the way.
Yeah.
What's up?
Which way are you choosing to
To die by?
end it?
Oh, I'm going to get cold.
You're freezing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how he tries to predict his death, too. He's probably like, "I'm going to probably die, but you may be able to resuscitate me when you get me out of here."
It's like, if I'm not out long enough, you got a shot.
He's like, I'm like, wait, what?
So, okay, that scene. Anyway, so Snipes' helicopter has gone down. It's crashed.
Dunzo.
Yeah. The dad is in a diver suit now, right? And he's like diving through first of all, the Titanic at this point has sunk like 70, like 1,000 leagues under the sea at this point. Like, so that shit is like
Taking on mega water.
yeah, this thing is down there with fucking Rose's pendant from the first Titanic.
Oh, boy.
And so they get her out with the guy, and they bring them onto like something, and he has fucking icicles frozen to his face already, and he's been probably dead for like 6 minutes.
He's been dead for quite a while.
And they're like trying to resuscitate him. And in my head, I'm like, if this motherfucker gets up, I'm actually going to be irrationally angry at this movie.
They focus on his fucking frost-covered face for minutes.
Yeah.
Back and forth on her face. She's like kissing him on the lips while he's clearly a dead guy. I guess they're trying to hope for that resuscitation thing you talked about.
Yeah.
But they keep going back and forth, shot for shot for shot for shot, until eventually the plane kind of just soars off, and the movie just ends.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
It kind of makes you think like, this might be better than the first Titanic.
It probably won more like Academy Awards, right? Yeah.
Racked up those Razzies.
No, seriously, fuck this movie. It was terrible.
Oh, shit.
It was
Like-
literally garbage.
She fails to bring him to life, and then she's like, "Oh, sorry,"
And it ends.
and it's over.
She literally, I think she does apologize.
Yeah, she says sorry.
So like his character is very weird. The characters are actually developed very, very badly in this movie.
There isn't.
Like you could not give a shit about any of these characters dying. You want the Titanic II to sink.
I was rooting for the tsunami.
Also, I just realized she's the only survivor of that whole ship.
Correct.
At least in the first Titanic, you had like the unsinkable Molly Brown and
Right.
Billy Zane, who stole a child.
Gotta do what you
You
gotta
even
do.
get someone stealing a child to survive. Also, they say women and children first on the to lifeboats. I don't even think there was children.
You know what I wish they would have
The
done?
Titanic II was a fuck pad. What do you say, Mike?
I wish they would have recreated the violin scene at some point.
I mean,
Class it up a little bit.
what they did actually reenact the scene where people are crawling to the top of the Titanic to wait for it to sink, but then it gets hit by a second tsunami.
I love the shots of just like the crew and the crowd just like dead on the floor, like gasping for the last breaths of life. They're trying to capture the horror of what's happening, and you're saying it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's like end me. I wish I was on the Titanic too while watching that.
Oh God! Imagine the fanfare of the Titanic 3.
Oh, I can't wait. We're gonna film it.
Good old BBOP production.
Oof, throwback.
That's a name.
Well, that's that movie.
Titanic 2
Dose.
in the books. What are we thinking here, boys?
Give us a fucking countdown.
What are we doing on our final cut of the Titanic 2? It's going 3,
Shane's so
2,
excited. He's shaking.
1.
That's a big thumbs down.
Yeah, that's a three-way. That's kind of obvious.
No
right?
one deserves to ever have to sit through this movie.
Yeah. I mean, we review gutter shit on this pod, but the thing is like, some just are enjoyable to watch, and some are just horrible. Too horrible.
This one
To
was
withstand?
horrible.
Horrors. All of them. Horrors.
All of them.
What about horror calf?
What?
You know, bull calf.
Oh. Okay, Mikey.
Wow.
We can talk about that.
That was a statement.
Mikey.
What was better, that joke or the movie?
Mikey.
Oh, the joke.
Okay.
Yeah, because I actually won't
Mikey.
disrespect you like that.
Thank you.
No one deserves that kind of disrespect.
Mikey.
I live for your approval, Shane.
Thank you. So, this was the final Friday,
Yes, it was.
and we got a banger next Friday.
Oh, yeah. Well, Armageddon?
Armageddon? Bruce Willis?
Well, it's like that if Bruce Willis was a llama.
Oh, shit.
We're doing Llamageddon.
See you next Friday. Get some wine. Drink my wine, bro.
God, I did have wine.
Just barely drank.
I was too busy talking about this great movie.
Llama's next week.
Meh.
Llamas
Oh,
from
that's
space.
a sheep.